Phishing is a form of an email to get something from you to trick you, and it's always associated with some form of social engineering. To get into a company as businesses, governments, etc. As a step to strengthen its security, you know, all the evidence shows that the human element, us as people, is that is the greatest risk to the organization. So how do we get past all these filters? So you have this social engineering features within the email itself to get you to click on something, to click on a URL, get you to download a piece of malware. A malware is a piece of software that once it installed on the computer, it can start to do nefarious things it should not do. In other words, it can also take over the computer. It can just sit there with something called info stealers, where it just glean your information. It can pick up your, keyloggers. It can pick up what you're typing, what you're seeing, and etc. So malware actually is what we call ransomware. Once malware is activated to encrypt your files or at least exfiltrate your files, how ransomware comes into play is, you have to pay a ransom back for something that is yours. So in this particular case, you have a piece of email might come in, could be a phishing email talking about some trade or some price list or whatever it is. You click on it to open it. Um, or a phishing email can take your credentials. You say you need support, you're going to change a password, you need to change it or something like that. You're going to put in something. At the end of the day, it is for the adversary to use a particular medium vector to get you to help them to compromise the system where they can now take control of to either exfiltrate your data, and in some cases they can also encrypt it. So encryption is not always the main thing that a company should look for. You might have a piece of malware sitting on your machine or adversary in your system just taking data and exfiltrating it, and then after a couple of months or weeks or whatever you want to call it, say to you, no, we have all this data, this gigs of data. If you don't want it to be posted on the internet or to be sold, pay us a ransom.
Wow. Hmm. Interesting. And you mentioned companies, but be mindful of folks that you can get these emails in your personal email. It doesn't have to be work related. I recall seeing quite a few in my Hotmail asking for information, and some of them seem so legitimate. So you need to
Right.
be mindful. Don't just click on any links, read before and check the sender. That's a key giveaway as well, because whilst what they're saying might seem, true, just look at the email address as well. That's a
Right.
good giveaway.
And if I may add something, always, verify. Before you trust something, verify. If you get something come to you, let's say it's from me, you're not quite sure, see if you can contact me by phone call. Like in the banking industry, check the URL properly. It might say, like, for instance, suppose it was Jackcom, it might have Jackcom maybe .bb is the official site, but it might say it's .ca or whatever else it is. Like, it might have some precursor. But we also want to alert persons that there are valuable sites that are compromised for a short period of time that these cyber criminals use. So you might, let's say, for instance, CNN could be compromised for just that small, let's say, 5-minute window, right? The information is put there. You click on all the CNNs, it's correct. You go there, but after, let's say, a couple, 5, 10 minutes, it's no longer there. So these adversaries can spin up domains, maybe, let's say, 100 domains within a minute, shut them down after 5 minutes. So everything is automated, like what I talk about, and they're now using AI now to really try to trick you. So you have to be aware of what is going on. Don't take everything for granted. Always verify. Keep a very up-to-date antivirus or EDR solution on your system. And remember, you can have your device compromised, and you're gonna take this device into the office. You can hook it up. Let's say you could compromise your phone. You hook it up through the USB, and it could come through the USB cable. Yes, or it could be, you attack the wireless. Use the wireless to get back into the organization. So we have to think about awareness training in a very holistic approach. And it doesn't take much. Once we build a security culture, which the Caribbean is not terribly, we are growing. Person, it becomes so normal for persons that it becomes second nature. We won't see it something difficult. We won't see it so surprising. when we walk outside, we never think and say, oh, we will never be robbed. We know at some point we will be robbed, and we always be vigilant. So this is the same case when it comes into the digital world. Always be vigilant, don't take anything for granted, and understand that this, what we call a criminal syndicate, is money driven. It is good money actually. Up to last year, if cybercrime based on their finances, it could be the third most largest economy in the world.
What?
Third most largest. So it is money to be made. And as we know, when it comes to the criminal element, no one leave a thing unturned.
Wow. Yeah, this is a lot, and it's somewhat scary, but you know, that's why you have companies like yours and, you know, individuals within respective companies working in information systems to ensure that we can protect ourselves. And as you rightfully said, it's for us to be cautious, to be aware, and to look out, because they're out there trying to get in.